Hello everyone and welcome to this YouTube channel, The Data Journey. In this channel I'm going to upload some videos about data science and analytics, so if you'd like to stick around, just subscribe to the channel because I'll be uploading plenty of videos about different algorithms. I'll be coding in Python, R and SQL as well, and we'll be doing several cool things on data science, machine learning and AI here in the channel. For starters, this is actually the first video of the channel and it will show you how to run Python code on Google servers using Google Colab. Because a lot of people ask how you can really run code without installing Python or Jupyter Notebooks or Anaconda Navigator, whatever, in your computer. And Google Colab is a very cool way for you to run code without having to rely on your system. Now, I'm going to explain what's happening in the background in Google Colab. I'm going to a tool that I use a lot called XCaliDraw, where I'm going to do some diagrams for you to understand what's happening in the background. So what happens with Google Colab is that let's imagine that this is your Python file or where your Python code will run. And I'm going to call this script Python script. Okay, so here Python script. Imagine that this is a very simple script that just adds two numbers together, so 1 plus 2. Okay, so this is what this script does. Of course, this will yield 3. Now there are different ways that your computer can interpret Python code. One natural way is to have your computer understanding Python code, and I'm going to put here your computer. I hope I can draw a computer. Let's see. Let me put, this is not a laptop, it's actually a desktop, so I'm going to put here, this is the keyboard, this is the screen, and this can be the mouse. Okay, so this is a representation of a computer. Sorry, it's probably not that clear, but at least it can give you some idea. One of the ways that you can do this is to put your computer here, understanding what Python code is. So able to understand Python code. Okay, and in that way, you can use this in several formats. For example, installing Anaconda Navigator, which is one of the most common ways to install Python in your computer, or also installing Python base, which is a bit more tricky for beginners. This happens particularly in Windows. If you have a Mac, Python base or a Linux distribution, Python base already comes with your operating system, so you don't need to install anything for your computer to understand Python code. But in Windows machines, if you have a Windows 10, Windows 11, whatever, Windows 8, 7, computers don't understand Python by default. So you need to install some of these softwares to be able to interpret this Python script in your computer. Now, the other alternative, that's what we are going to do, is to use Google Colab. So Google Colab means that although you are using your computer, it's not your computer that's going to interpret Python code. Your computer will only be an interface, but it's not going to be your computer that's going to run Python code. What's going to run Python code is going to be Google servers on Google Colab. So you're going to use Google Colab to do something, to call some computers, let's think like that are on Google. Okay, so Google servers. And in this case, you can run, Google servers. You can run Python code without having to rely on your computer, because you just use your computer as an interface to the Google servers. So when we use Google Colab, what we are really doing is just sending this code right here through this route. Let me pick up the arrow. So it's going through this route, but it's not going to run in your computer. It's just going to use it as an interface, as a screen where you are typing stuff, so that you can send code to Google Colab. Google Colab will send your instruction to Google servers, and then Google servers return the response or the answer of this code via Google Colab, where you can also see it, and you can also see it on your computer as well, because you are using Google Colab as in the web browser. Okay, so the difference is that in this route, your computer is directly interpreting Python code. In this route, your computer is not. It's just the screen that you are using to code in Python, but the code is not running locally in your computer. When I mean locally is that your computer is not able to understand what Python code is, but as you are using a web browser, like any other application, you are using this web browser to send code to Google servers, and Google servers return that the answer of the code. Now, Google servers, of course, they are able to interpret Python code. They need to be, because that's the only way that they can run Python code. Okay, so now that we have a brief explanation of what Google Colab is, let's go and understand how we can use Google Colab. All you need to have is just a Google account. A simple Gmail account is enough. And you go to the Google Drive. I'm here on my Google Drive. You can go to your Google Drive here, Google Apps, and then you click Drive, okay, in your Gmail account. After you are logged in your Gmail account, you can see here these 9 dots, which are the different Google apps. Click in Drive and you'll be here where I am right now, okay? Now, I'm going to do something. I'm going to create here a new folder called YouTube channel, which is actually, as this is the first video, I can use this to create this YouTube channel. And I'm going to double click this folder that I've just created here, okay? This has taken me to this empty folder on Google Drive. And now I have several ways to work with the Google Colab file. The first one is to go here to New, and I can do More. You probably won't have this Google Colaboratory here. So you'll need to go to Associate More Applications. This is in Portuguese here, but you'll have Add More Applications or something like that. You can click it, and this will open a new window. And here in the Marketplace, you just search for Colaboratory or Colab. You search it, and the first one will be Google Colab. This is already installed in my computer, so I can click it, and here I wouldn't install it. You just have to click Install. And now, when you install Google Colab, you'll have the application that you'll need to use Google Colab and read some Python code. So after installing it, make sure that you'll have this Colaboratory installed here, and after installing it, you'll have it in the More, right here, you'll have Google Colaboratory. Now let's click it, and this will open a new window. Okay, we just have to wait, and we'll have Google Colab ready for us. Now this is the main window of Google Colab. This is the name of your file that you see right here. I'm going to put first YouTube video, which is .ypynb. Everything that has this extension, ypynb, means a notebook file. So a notebook is something where we can write code and text at the same time. It's very good for communicating, so it's also a cool structure that we can use. Now, how do we actually run Python code here? Very simple. Just do, for example, 1 + 1. This is actual Python code. I'll do some other stuff later. But here, click on the play button, and you'll have Python code running in the background. So now Google is sending the instruction to Google servers, and it will return us the output of this code, which is 2. So as you can see, right below the cell that we have here, this is called a cell, a code cell, we have the output, which is 2. We can do more cells, for example, here, this adds another cell of code. And here I can write more Python code. I'll write something called a variable, so an assignment. I'll actually call the hello world. Hello world will be variable underscore 1 is equal to hello world. So what we're doing here is creating a variable 1, a variable name variable 1, with the string or character hello world. Now you'll notice something fun when I run this. So I'm going to run it in the play button. There's no output, because when we assign something in the last instruction of the cell, there will be no output in the cell. But what we will have, and I'm going to pick up this variable 1, add another code cell, what we will have here in the variable 1, I'm going to write it, is the returning value that is stored on our variable. Okay? We'll have the string that is stored on our variable 1. And as you can see, we have here hello world, so very cool. And now we are able to use Python code in our computer, although it's not our computer that is interpreting it. Remember, it's very important that you understand that. All right, so now that we know how to run Python code, I will also want to give you a tip. For example, let me put here 10 + 10, and now we don't have to go to this play button every time we want to run something. We can use Control Enter, and this will run the cell. If I'm positioned in the cell, as long as my cursor is here in the cell, I can do Control Enter and I'll have an output. Now let me show you how we can import files to Google Colab, which is also something cool, or how we can open existing files from the drive. So even the Google Drive, as you can see, I still haven't titled, but if I refresh this page, there you go, first YouTube video. Now I'm going to put here a new notebook. Okay, so I'm here on my drive. This is locally because I have this synchronized with my Google Drive in my desktop. But if I go here and I put this new notebook, this is another notebook that I have from my Python for Absolute Beginners course. You have here Python intro using Python as a calculator. This is already a notebook that contains code and text that we want to run, that we may want to run. So I've just added it to this YouTube channel folder on my Google Drive. I go here to the YouTube channel, you see that I have already this file. And notice that this file has this extension YPYNB. This means that it's a notebook, a Python notebook. So we should be able to upload it or open it directly in Colab. Now, super easy to open these types of notebooks in Colab. You just go here and you do a double click, and this will immediately open a new Colab app with the code and the text of this notebook. Super simple, as you can see. Now, another way that you have to import or to see files in Colab is also to do the following. So you can go here, you can do new, you can do Google Collaboratory, and then when you are inside Google Collaboratory, what you can do is go to File and Open Notebook. Here is in Portuguese, but you can do Open Notebook, and here you should have all the available notebooks in your Google Drive, but you can also, for example, do a search on your local desktop, and you can go here to a file search on Windows. This will open, and let me go here to my Google Drive, my drive, courses instruction, where I have all the notebooks that I have for my courses, and I'll go here for Python for Absolute Beginners, Introduction to Python, and I can select another notebook that I want to use. For example, this Python Atomic Data Types. I double click it, and the file will be imported to Colab using, for example, local files that you have or local notebooks that you have on your computer. And here you can run these notebooks as you want. There's no problem at all. Okay, you just go here and then you do run or Control+Enter. Okay, cool. I hope this was clear and that you've enjoyed this first video on the channel. I'll be uploading a lot of new videos on data and analytics. So if you are having trouble, feel free to bookmark this video so that you can remember how you can run things on Colab, because it's very cool and gives your computer the ability to run Python code without relying on difficult software installations that sometimes may be a bit painful. Thank you very much for watching this video. Don't forget to subscribe. If you would like to learn Python, feel free to visit my courses that you find in the description below, where you have links for my Python for Absolute Beginners course, where you'll be able to learn Python completely from scratch. Thank you for watching, and until the next time.